Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cook. I got to show you this. It came out beautifully. All right, you're going to need 1 cup of milk and you're going to put it in a saucepan. Then I'm going to show you what I'm excited about. Remember when I showed you to do the yogurt? We were going to capture the yogurt. Really, to make yogurt is actually what we're doing. Remember when I told you we were trying to capture it? I have a custard. Look at that. I have a custard. It's just very little liquid, but it turned in. I captured them. And that's what you have to do, is capture those microbes. Now what we're going to do with this 1 cup of milk is we're going to bring it to a boil. Do not scorch it. So, setting it just like that, did a beautiful job. We caught the microbes in the air, and they like the way we did the milk, and they're comfortable. Now I have to go get a jar, and I'll be right back. Okay, you're going to need a pint jar. You're going to need a pad to put the hot milk on. Make sure you use a clean spoon. All of this has to be clean, because if it's not, the culture's not going to be able to make the yogurt. We're going through the stages of making it. And the first stage is we've got to get that milk boiled. As soon as it comes up to a boil, we're going to turn it off. We're going to put it on a mat, and then we're going to let it cool. And once it cools down to between 104 and 110, I'll show you how you take the culture that we just caught and how we're going to make it into yogurt. So it seemed like today everything jumped and came out perfectly. The weather was right. We got the wind and all, and everything took off. So I was very, very happy. You are going to need some sort of thermostat, thermometer, so you can sit there and know when it hits, you know, at 110 to 104 as the temperature drops, so we can make this yogurt. Because if you go too low, it's cold. If you're too high, you're going to kill it. So we have to keep it at that range. But first we have to sterilize the milk, and that's what we're actually going to do. We're going to use just 1 cup. We're not going to do a big quart, because the first time you do it, it doesn't really look like yogurt, and people say, that doesn't look like, no, it's not. But when we do the next stage after that, it will look like yogurt, it will taste like yogurt, and you'll be happy. And then all what you have to do is make sure that before you open, I always have a backup. Before I go into my backup, I always make sure I make another batch from it. Everything is clean and it's good. And I can keep it rotating like this, and it will stay alive as long as you keep on feeding it and doing what you have to do with it. Of course, one of my sons got into my backup. This spoon said it was clean. Yeah, right. I saw it. I couldn't make another yogurt, so then I knew that he thought it was clean, but it wasn't. So I had to cut my meal that I was holding you on, because the yogurt's ready to move forward. So there'll be 2 parts in that. I just want to make sure I'm not burning the milk, so what I'm actually doing is stirring. Okay. My milk has boiled. As you can see, it's quite hot. Now what we have to do is we're going to have to let this sit and cool before we can do anything with it. So just put that in the jar for now, and I will be back when this is at that point. Okay, we got it below 110. I like it between 104 and 110. That's my plate area. Now, you're going to get a teaspoon. You don't need much of this for what we're going to do, but you see how mine custard up? You can take 1, 2 teaspoons. You're going to stir it just a little bit. That's all you're going to do. Pour it into a jar. and seal it up. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a warm place and keep it warm until tomorrow morning, and we'll be at the next stage of making yogurt. I always cover mine with a lot of towels and keep them in the alcove here because it's a very warm area. So let me go get some towels and I'll cover mine up. Don't have to bite me, Pip. Be a good boy. So it's very important. Wait a minute. I've got to put them in my yogurt maker. Sorry about that. You need a yogurt maker. What was I thinking? You have to get this hot. The one that I have is cultured cupboard. Sorry, we're not putting towels over it yet. We've got to put hot water in this and get this hot to hold its heat. Do not put boiling water in this. In the yogurt maker, you're just going to use the water that comes out of the tap as hot as you can get it. And that's what I'm working on right now. Ooh, that's hot. Just gonna let it sit a few minutes and then I will be covering that up as well. So cultured cupboard is the one that I use. I'm going to keep this wrapped until I get it in the yogurt container. And I like it because number one, it doesn't have glass so it can't break. Number two, it's not electric because I burn yogurt makers out. This one is nifty just the way it is. It's not a thermos, but it's sort of like a thermos, works in that area. So I do like it very, very much for that one reason. I'm not going to lie to you, I do love it. I sometimes think I should get two the way I go through yogurt in the house. But when you do the milk, like I said, it's got to have like a custard look to it, because you just take that little bit off, and this is the beginning of making all this that we like so much. So I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, now we can do this. I don't know how I forgot that. I'm gonna put this in here. Put the lid on, cover it up with 2 towels. That'll hold the heat in. And we should have another stage of yogurt to make, which will be the final stage, and then we'll definitely have yogurt. But this is going to have to sit all night. So I will see you tomorrow morning. But if you want to see how good this is why I do it in the spring. Look at all that yogurt. You see? It took very well. But this doesn't taste good. But we'll get to the taste part after. We first have to get it up and running. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.